So, hello everybody to all those who are watching it live right now and those who are going to watch it in Google Me in YouTube later. Sorry. I welcome you to the new episode of In Conversations with, and our today's guest is Mr. Amit Agarwal, who is an Indian film producer, and he has produced many of the popular films and has backed films like MS Dhoni, The Untold Story, and has produced films like Simran, Raahgir, Bengali film Astra, and Vartak Nagar. Welcome, Mr. Amit Agarwal. How are you doing today?
All good. I'm really excited and thankful that to you guys to invite me for a wonderful conversation. And I must appreciate and I really liked the term which you used, the art of producing films.
Yes,
It
exactly.
is really, motivating for a producer like me
Yeah.
who, involves himself deeply into the process of filmmaking.
Yes.
So, considering it as an art, the producing generally is not considered as an art. It's more of a financial term and
Yeah, exactly.
commercial things which is happening around the film. But I'm really very inspired and motivated with this term of art of producing. Thank you so much.
That's great to hear. In fact, that actually kind of brings to my first question that when we hear the term
Can you be
yeah.
Shashwat, can you be a bit louder?
Yes, 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 sure. Can you hear me now?
I know for some reason your
Yeah, yeah,
sound
yeah.
is.
Can you hear me right now? Yes. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, carry on,
Yeah,
carry on.
yes, yes, yes. So that brings me actually to my first question. That is, as you told, that producing is a term which we usually associate with the financial side of filmmaking, especially in India. But at the same time, if we talk in about other industries over there, producing is an art. In fact, to talk in terms of Oscars and everything, the best film is usually received by the producer. So the producer of the film receives the best film award. So,
Hmm.
what exactly inspired you to become a film producer, and what steps did you take to break into the industry?
See, basically, in my case, am I. It's not that as a producer I introduced myself in the industry. I've been working in the industry since many years before I became a producer, because I was more involved, technically and doing
Okay.
ad films and providing technical support through my studio works. Like I used to, hire outsource camera setups and DI setups, editing setups. I myself am an editor, and I have edited many ad films in Bombay as well as in Kolkata. And I have been technical director of many films,
Yeah.
many different kind of contents, whether it is corporate films, whether it is documentary films, and I've myself edited many documentary films, many corporate films, and worked as a technical director both in Bombay and Kolkata. I started my career in Bombay, but later on I shifted to Kolkata, the cultural capital of
Yes.
India, you can say.
Yeah.
But more work I have done as a producer in Bombay, which is the commercial
Yes.
capital of India.
Yes.
So I like both the cities, but Calcutta, keep me more grounded, you can say. So coming back to your question, my inspiration was, from what I wanted to do from the very childhood. My inclination was there in creative field. So I joined, the industry, the film and television industry, and then somehow, at the back of the mind, I always thought, to do something, to produce a film or something where I can, do everything myself, what I feel like, to, present my visions, what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Which, as a technical director or an editor, you have to work on someone else's,
Yeah.
vision.
Correct.
At the same time, it was very important that you have financial support.
Yes, that is right.
So, when you work hard, with grace of God, things start taking shape. And then, when I associated with one of my good friends who's a filmmaker, Mr. Tathagat Bhattacharjee, we always used to talk and think about, making a film together.
Yeah.
So somehow he narrated me the idea of Bengali film Astro, and then I took it as a challenge that let me see if I can work it out. and things started
Yeah.
happening and things took shape, and I produced my first film, Ostro, in 2012.
Yeah.
Thereafter,
So it's
uh,
exactly 11 years before. So it's 11 years before since the journey.
yeah, that was almost 11 years before. So thereafter, when you do something what you wanted to, and again, uh, things start happening.
Yeah.
And I had worked a lot in Bombay, so when people came to know over there that I have produced a film in Bengali, they supported me well, and I channelized my networks over there.
Yeah.
And one by one, I started getting opportunities over there also, and I started producing films.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
that is how it happened. It
Yeah.
was not accidental, but it was an ongoing process, how it happened. But yes, I was always wanting to do something in creative field only.
Okay. Okay. So like the producing thing was more of a gradual change. Like gradually,
Gradually.
ultimately, it led to
Yeah.
producing of the film. Which brings me to my next question. That is, how do you typically approach this process of selecting a script to produce?
Sorry.
How do you typically approach the process of selecting a script or project to produce, and what qualities do you look for in a potential film?
See, selecting a script is, again, it's an ongoing process. For an independent producer like me, I am, always in hunt of a subject, of a story idea which I can get. But again, I'm not producing films in quantity where, I can keep a set of script writers where they will, process everything and deliver it to me, and then the process, it's like a manufacturing process
Yeah.
which will happen. But yes, each producer or a producer like me, they are always in hunt of a story idea or a
Yes.
story, or out of their imagination that subject of this kind should happen. So if it's my imagination or my idea, then I see that we need to develop it first, and
Yeah.
then how it comes out, and then we take the process forward. Like in case of, it, also it's like, someone gives us an idea
Yeah.
and present us with their idea, and we sometimes like the idea, and we think that, we should make a film on this subject.
Yeah.
So selecting a script is like how much you have liked the idea and what impact personally it have on you. It's
Yeah.
like a very instant, feeling which you get when you hear an idea.
Yes.
But again, after selecting an idea, there is a preliminary development process which you need to, have,
Yeah.
because sometimes, a subject or an idea in a book
Yes.
is not a good film to make.
Yeah. That is true.
So that is how it works. So until unless you are totally satisfied that this is a subject which can be translated or converted into a film,
Yeah.
it's not a, go ahead for a particular subject. So
Exactly.
idea can come anyhow, from anywhere, from a very fresher writer also, or from any current event which is going on, or maybe you think of a person, like in case of MS Dhoni, it was an MS Dhoni
Yeah.
biopic basically,
Yes.
which I initiated. So, but then again, a lot of people told me that time that he's a living legend, he's still
Yeah.
playing.
Yes.
But
Exactly.
somehow I had a feeling, no, that this is something which will really work,
Yeah.
because it was a, huge craze of MS Dhoni, and they, whether he is still playing or not, it doesn't matter, but people will like to know about his life. And by
Yes.
that time, social media also was, so much active, and
Yeah.
people who wanted to connect themselves, what is happening, where it is happening. So why not, if somebody wants to know what's somebody, everyone would like to know that what's story about MS Dhoni and how
Yes.
he's so successful from rags, from coming from a very small town and achieving such a big goal. So
Yes.
I was sure that things will work out for MS Dhoni biopic. So this is how, an idea or a script
Yeah.
is selected.
Yes.
And
So it,
for quality, quality, what do you mean about, the quality over here?
well, I am actually like so like what I can get from your answer is that
Are you
it's
talking
more
about
about
the
the
script quality or
individual.
technical quality of the film?
Especially it's about who pitches you the idea. I'm talking in that terms of quality, about who pitches you the idea and what exactly do you think a film, like what are the qualities a film should have, because like right now Indian cinema has improved technically a lot, but at the same time, while you're producing a film, do you also think about these technical factors, that okay, this should be mixed in Dolby Atmos format, or this should be released in this IMAX format or anything like that, or is it not taken into consideration? So that, by that I mean the quality of the
See, first and foremost, let me tell you,
film.
the subject,
Yeah.
the script, the storytelling is the soul of any content, any film.
Yeah.
Technology, whenever it has come, it was new
Yes.
for any filmmaker, whether it was celluloid when it started with 16, super 16,
Yes.
35 cinema scope, digital. So technology is the way you present
Yes.
your story.
Yes.
So that is always, one should think that it has its own benchmark, which the current benchmark which one needs to consider,
Yeah.
because audience is visually habituated to watch that kind of technology or that kind of quality.
Yes.
But ultimately it is the storytelling, the script which matters a lot.
Yeah. True. Okay. So then I will actually go into this process a little bit later, but you actually told a term which is independent filmmaking and independent producing, to be precise. And there is actually a lot of there's a lot of confusion around this. That can you clear us out, like what exactly is independent producing versus studio producing a film?
Independent producing and studio producing, I can say, they are much organized
Okay.
with different divisions, and they have their own set of process of selecting a project and finally releasing it.
Yes.
Whereas an independent producer is doing a lot more work by himself or his small team, where they select the subject, and then they generally are dependent on the studios to release the film.
Okay.
At the same time, studios at times collaborate with independent producers to make a content for them, or they accept some pitches from the independent producers and they collaborate to come up with a film, and then which they can release.
Yes.
So there is not much a gap apart from the way of doing it,
Yes.
because ultimately the goal is to make a film and to release it.
Yeah.
So but at the same time, the approach is different.
Yes. 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 So coming to then specifically, since you are independent, you are an independent producer, like could you walk us through one typical life cycle process of developing a film? Like I'm talking about, like you talked about how you have been, how you quantify and select scripts and how you look for these qualities and everything, but what exactly is the process which is followed? Like for example, I am a director and I have pitched a story to you, and let's say you have liked it. So what will be the exact process for greenlighting it and releasing it? So what it's like in independent films?
See, for every film, the process is same.
Okay.
Whether you are making a very, very small budget film or you are making a very high, big budget blockbuster film.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a script, you have to shoot, you have to do post production, you have to release. Now, at each level, there is, the approach is different
Yeah. True.
at each level. Uh, so the process, in general, I will just try to explain you the process. The filmmaking process is like, again, you need to have a story idea first.
Yeah.
What is the idea on which you need to make a film?
Yeah.
whether it comes from your own imagination, or you adapt it from someone, or you acquire it from a book. So you have to have an idea. Then you need to have a conviction that okay, this is an idea which it can work as a film.
Yes.
It can be translated as a film, whether it is in a form of a short film or it is in a form of a feature film.
Yes.
Thereafter, you need to do the research work which the subject or the story idea demands.
Yeah.
For example, if it is a current event on which you are making a film, so you need to gather all the events, all the allied events, or all the activities which were happened around that event. Maybe it's some suppose say military attack or some accident which has happened or anything of that
Yeah.
kind, an event which
Yeah.
has happened. So you need to have a research in that context. At the same time, when you are making a biopic, suppose say a biopic on Americom or Mika Singh or MS
Yes.
Dhoni, so you need to do your research
Yeah.
for that particular character.
Yes.
So after your research is done, uh, the process is of developing it in a form of proper story or script,
Yeah.
where you need to, as a producer, you need to bring on board the proper writers team who will write the script, the screenplay, along with the directors who needs to come on board. Then you need to share your vision. If you have planned a film as a producer, I am talking as a producer. If I have
Yes.
planned a film, so then you need to bring in a director on board who will then start involving in the subject and try to visualize in his own way and develop the script further
Yes.
as per his visions. So these are the pre-production part
Yes.
where one needs to entirely lock the script with dialogues and everything, with their initial recce, where the film needs to be shot, what kind of location needs to happen, all those things to be done. At the same time, you can start thinking about the cast and crew that should get involved in various characters and in various roles technically. Once the primary preliminary things are locked, then starts your second phase of the pre-production, where you bring in your cast entirely,
Yes.
your crew, and you finalize the role which everyone should have. And then the director starts the technical recce with his team of cinematographer, the production team, the art team, all those are there,
Yeah.
for the technical recce. Once the technical recce is done, we finalize the budget. There is
Okay.
a budget in mind primarily,
Yes.
but again, after the technical recce, generally a more or less decent final budget is locked. At that time, we also, pitch to various casts who fits in for the various roles. So after the technical recce and casting and all is done, we plan for the production and then
Yes.
we go for the production. The shooting is done as per the production plan, as per
Yeah.
the technical requirements. The camera, and the lights, the equipments, the set, all those things are considered, and each department does their own individual roles to play. They do their work in consultation and
Yeah.
collaboration with the other team members, because it's ultimately a teamwork.
Yes. Exactly.
After the production is done, we come up with the content with the rushes, and then we go for our post production. Now again, the post production, there are sound department, there are color grading, whether there is a VFX which needs to be done, editing, rough
Yes.
edit has to be done first. There is a dubbing, there is a Foley process
Yes.
of sound laying. Again, yes, I missed something, which is the music.
Okay.
Music is something which has to be done before the production
Yeah.
starts.
Yes.
because then you know how many songs are there and where you need to, because it's a part of the production. You shoot the songs also,
Yes.
but the music production has to be completely done before the production.
Okay.
It has to be completely a finished product.
Oh.
Mixing can be again done later on during the production or the post production of the film, but decent mixing needs to be done before the production starts, production
Of
begins,
of the song
of
which
the
is to
song.
be.
Of the
Okay.
song. So songs, music are more or less locked before we start the shoot. So in post production, we cover up all the other things which is needed to finish the product. We begin with editing. A rough edit is done, which again is along with, we have a lot of discussions about locking the edited version, which version we should go with, as per the target audience, and as per our plans and strategy of the
Yes.
release. uh, Thereafter, in post production, as I said, we have to finish the DI, the VFX, the sound part, which again is background music, foley, and laying of various tracks of sound, and
Yes.
finishing it in DI along with the VFX, and then taking out the first print.
Okay.
And again, the print can be, for various platforms. If it is a theatrical release, the format is different. If it is
Yeah.
a, OTT release, various OTTs, different OTTs have a different
Yes.
format of release. If it is a internet or YouTube release,
Yes.
nowadays films
Yes.
are made for YouTube also.
Yes. Exactly.
Recently, one film was shot entirely in Apple. I think
Yeah. 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 iPhone 14. Yes. The
so.
Vishal Bharadwaj film.
Yeah, yeah. So according to the release platform, you decide on the post production and your final print, and you take the output. So
Yes.
this is, in broad, the process of making a film.
Yeah.
But we can definitely have an elaborate session,
Yes. Yes.
because there are multiple things which can be
Yeah.
discussed, many things which needs
Yes.
to be discussed to explain it fully.
Yes, yes. I want to, expand on one of the topics which you said, which is budgeting, which I think many of the people are also interested to know. That is, since especially coming to your filmography as a producer, you have worked with some of the biggest names in the industry. And recently, there has been in the news also, there has been this, that there is a lot of pay disparity and between what actually stars are charging versus the technical crew, and there is a, like, there is a ongoing and long negotiation process in that. So can you tell us a little bit about how actually, what are the parameters on which a film star charges his or her remuneration for a particular film, and how is it that considered with the
You
product
mean
of
to
the film?
say about the star fees?
Yes, yes, exactly.
uh,
Yeah, star fees. Yes.
which they charge.
Yeah, like, because the thing is that in news reports there have been recently that in many of the Indian films, the reason why these Indian films are having so big high budget is the 95% of it is due to high star fees, and the corresponding spending or the corresponding budget on the production and the PN, that is the advertisement and promotions cost is less as compared to that. So what are exactly the kind of what are exactly the parameters in which a star decides his or her fees, and why do you think there is such a disparity?
See, basically, it is very difficult to say that which star charges what,
Okay.
because again, it's something which they take a call on. They decide as per their, the market which they have developed for themselves. And again, this is very much, customized
Okay.
from a maker to maker.
Okay.
A star can charge maybe an X amount from a particular producer or director, or he may charge a different amount for same type of project with a different producer.
Yeah.
It's again, very a personal rapport. And
Okay.
then again, a lot of stars, come on a project on board with their personal interest. If they like
Yes.
the subject,
Exactly. Yeah.
they at times they don't charge any fees, and they come on board on a profit sharing basis.
Yes.
So there are A level, there are B level, there are C level cast and crew. So it all depends, how you think of a producer think or a director think of a project, and what are the resources, networks, and
Yes.
other factors available with him or her, to make it happen. So,
Okay.
obviously, if someone is giving a good box office,
Yes.
they will charge accordingly,
Yeah.
because ultimately it's an entertainment business, it's an entertainment industry, and they know that it can be sold off at certain amount.
Yes.
But at the same time, they also know, suppose say if they have given a bad box office,
Yes.
they again come down with their charges and costs,
Yes.
and they think otherwise about their fees.
Yes.
So it all depends, the on the current scenario
Yeah.
of how they will charge and who is approaching them. So
Okay, so like it's a very subjective thing, and
very
it depends on person to person, which
person.
kind of brings me to my next question. That is, lately, especially if I talk in terms of Hindi films, have not been performing well on the box office, except, and certainly there are some outliers like Pathan, which just comes and does 1,000 crore business and everything. So right now, I asked this to all of my guests, that where do you think is the current state of Indian cinema right now? Like, are we heading towards kind of a very bad phase where there will be more box office failures, or do you think like that the theatrical business model is finished and OTT is the future? So like, what are your views on
See, I will not say that commercially that the Indian cinema is in a bad phase. Yes, that was a time during COVID time when things were not good, because nobody was able to go to theaters, or
it?
we
Yes.
were unable to release the film in theater. But again, time and again, there were a lot of hits in recent times also,
Yes.
which has balanced the situation.
Yeah.
That bad time, which was unpredictable at the time of COVID, it was bad for many industry.
Yes.
But at that time, OTT, did a good work, and it balanced the entertainment industry.
Yes.
But yes, if you talk about cinema halls, if you talk
Yeah.
about theater release, it was bad at that time. But again, if you talk about overall entertainment industry, OTT really boomed during that period. And in recent times, see, hits and flops are part of entertainment industry, and it has always been. If you make a good content, if you make the audience aware properly what your subject is about, uh, people will come and watch the film. And
Yes.
people who goes to theater, they love watching the film in theater.
Yeah.
Nowadays, yes, a decent segment, decent proportionate of viewers has gone to OTT, and they just wait for the film to get released on OTT.
Yeah.
But if you come up with a blockbuster film of a superstar like Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan,
Yeah.
people will go and watch the film in theater.
Yes.
After 3 days, it's all same for all the films.
Yes.
If the content is good, Monday you'll get a good decent box office. But if the
Yeah.
content is not good, the box office start falling.
Yes.
So this is how it happens. So see again, South films, which has done miraculously good job,
Yeah.
and has overall boomed the Indian film industry,
Yeah.
and we
Exactly.
have won an Oscar also for Natu Natu.
Yes. Like two Oscars,
So
one documentary too.
I don't think we should say, or it's true that the Indian cinema is going towards down graph. But I think it's very much stable. But we need to provide good content for
Yes.
the audience to come to theater.
Yeah.
A lot of success stories are there for OTT content.
Yes.
So that is there, but people are watching it on OTT
Yeah.
regularly. There are many contents which is getting released on different OTTs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
people are watching it. So in either way, the entertainment industry is well balanced at the moment.
Yes. So that actually also is. I want to I also want to know more about this OTT distribution model. That is, what happens is that OTT is generally, from our, like, from a customer's point of view, it's that we are paying a monthly fees of let's say 299 or 199, and we are getting loads of movies, web series all over the world. And then how exactly are films getting the money from here? Is it like, is it a kind of a paper watch, like every time a viewer is watching, the producers are earning a share? Because what happens in business, in theatrical release, is that yes, this is from the theatrical collection. Satellite is also kind of sold before the film is released many times. Like we also get news reports, it's sold for 70 crores, 80 crores. So from OTTs, what, how exactly is a film, film being profitable if it's directly entered, it's entering directly into the OTT space without a theatrical release?
See, as a mature producer,
Yeah,
whoever is, whoever is a mature producer, they know how to, initiate or, execute a film
yeah,
and strategize their, marketing and release the film. See, you can't just aimlessly make a film. You should have some strategy.
yes,
If you are making a film for OTT, you have to be sure that you pitch a film to them and get their approval and then start the film.
yes,
You just can't dream one day that you will make a film for OTT and you land in their office and say that this
yeah,
is the film I have made for you. So please buy it. My budget is so and so. This
yeah,
never happens. So
okay,
this again, is a process.
yeah,
If you are making a film for an OTT platform, you need to have their consent, you need to collaborate with them, and then they have their own business model to market and get their money back
yeah,
through subscription, through advertisement. So this is how it works.
okay,
But if you have made a film, if you want to make a film for theatrical, then you have to strategize it accordingly. You need to collaborate. Either you should have be confident enough कि ठीक है, you have good amount of experience, I'll make a film
yeah,
and then I'll release it through collaborating with a bigger studio and release the film,
yeah,
and I think that this film will do a good business. So this is your risk what you are taking.
yes,
So this is another way. Either you make it your of your own and then collaborate with your studio, or one of the studios, and release the film and take all risk, or you collaborate with the studio from the very beginning, like OTT. You pitch the film to them.
yes,
If they like the subject, they will come on board. You collaborate with them financially and make the film and deliver it to them. They will further release it. So
yes.
this is how it happens.
Okay, okay. And my last question regarding this budget, which is, sometimes it happens is that a director might have a very ambitious idea, and at the same time the producer is also on board with it. So, but there is not, there is not much of a financial support to pull that off. So, how do you, personally, you, how do you kind of balance your, your financial considerations up, and balance it with the creative vision of the director and the writer?
See, I will talk how I work
Yes.
on this. Firstly, I never interfere with a director's creative vision
Okay.
when he is on floor or he is the film is under production. Now, just one sec.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, creative. Sorry, can you just repeat your
Yeah.
question
Yeah. So,
once?
like, my question is that how do you balance the creative vision of the director with the financial considerations of the production company?
Okay, right. See, uh, director can have any kind of vision on his subject.
Yeah.
And if you are on board as a producer, you have to make sure that you balances his creative vision to your financials to survive and to keep the company going.
Okay.
It is a very important decision which one needs to make before a project is started.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you have to have your all discussions and your about your budget or what is the way you are going to release, in which platform or theatrical you are going to release, and how you need to recover, and then whether it is matching with what the director is imagining.
Yes.
And if that budget doesn't work out with that particular subject, I think it is best to drop the idea to develop or to make that film.
Okay.
But at the same time, a responsible producer, if your budget matches and there is, and it's a good content, and he's on board, and at the time or during the process of production, uh, it happens that you need to do some more. You need to provide something more to the director to for him to come up with something better. So you should provide that support to the director,
Okay.
because ultimately it's a better content, better product which you are going to sell.
Yes.
A film is never like a soap or a detergent powder which can have a very standardized process of making and selling.
Okay.
Each film, you know, it, each film is customized.
Yes.
Each film is has to be customized as per its requirement,
Yes.
whether it is the production or it is marketing or it is release. It
Yes.
can't just be thrown in a similar
Yes.
process of manufacturing unit, कि
Yeah.
भाई चलो इसको अभी
Yes.
स्क्रिप्ट बन गया, अभी इसको डाल दो एक मशीन में और ये बन के ऐसे ऐसे करेगा, इसी तरीके से इसको रिलीज कर दो. दैट इज नॉट द वे.
Yes.
You have to customize every step as per the requirement of the film.
Yes. I think that's what makes filmmaking a different kind of a business, because nothing is
Yeah,
same.
very
Nothing
true.
is same. Nothing is same.
A
And
lot of producers who are more from investors background
yes.
are unable to understand this viewpoint,
Yes.
and they think or they take it differently.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is the fact that this business is different than other businesses.
Yes, yes, exactly. I want to come. I want to come to the audience questions, but before that, I want to hear some of your one of your personal stories related to producing. Can you tell us any out of all your filmography, which film was the most challenging as well as most interesting to produce? Apart from the first film, yeah, there is definitely a very there's definitely a joy of making a first film, that's there. But apart from that, now once you had experience producing your first film, you definitely have to, yeah, as you said, every film has its own set of challenges. So out of all these, which has been the most challenging ones, and yeah, tell us a story about it.
See, all the films were very challenging,
Yeah.
and I have enjoyed taking those challenges.
Yeah.
And the best thing is that I have, overcome those challenges very smoothly,
Yes.
because you have to have lot of patience and wonderful temperament to deal with the situation you face.
Yes.
So manpower management is again a very important thing, because you are dependent on so many people,
Yeah, exactly.
because one department, if they fail to do something, the other is affected, and that is when things start becoming difficult. So this is what I have always managed to handle.
Okay.
So the challenges has been very smooth for me. Yes, one such thing I can just share with you, that during Raahgir,
Yeah.
Raahgir was a film which we decided in May mid
Yeah. So
to go
15 May, 15 May, May mid.
15th May around.
Yes.
Yeah, today again,
Yes. Today is
we are in
15 May.
15th May only. So
Yes.
it's a wonderful day to, have
Yeah.
a conversation with you
Yes.
people. So, and Gautam Da is a great stalwart, a great filmmaker, and I was absolutely driven by his vision.
Yeah.
And there was, no as such creative interference from my end, because I was absolutely driven by what he requires, by what he wants.
Yeah.
So for me, the challenge was that he wanted to start the shoot in monsoon,
Yeah.
because that was, an important layer, an important element of the film. But we were already in May when, I okayed with the subject, and I said that, Gautam da, okay, let's do it. So Gautam da told me that, as per his, research and weather check, AccuWeather weather, where he used to,
Yes.
get those predictions, weather predictions. So he told me that, Amit, we have to have the shoot from 1st August, but we are already, we have just thought that we have to start, and I have to start the film in 1st August, because that is when we'll get the best effect of the monsoons.
Yes.
And we were shooting in Jharkhand, Ranchi.
Yeah.
So, and nothing was logged. It's like only me and Gautam sitting together and discussing this. So I took a couple of days.
Yeah.
Then I made in my mind, I said, okay, Gautam, you don't worry.
Yeah.
You start working on your script, as we have now decided that we have to do it. Because if we don't shoot the film in monsoon, then it goes to next year.
Yeah.
And who has seen what will happen next year?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So that was again very challenging. So I have committed Gautam that I'll make sure that everything will fall in place. So I have asked him to just relax and concentrate on his writing, on his script, on his screenplay. So for me, it was a big challenge,
Yeah.
to handle, to manage everything within, a month or so,
Yes.
within
Exactly.
2 months, because uh, I can start the work only after, he does his primary Reiki and technical Reiki.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, as per the idea, and also after he finishes the first draft of his script. So, more or less, I was able to start the work in the first or second week of June,
Yeah.
approximate. So then we started talking to the cast, our cast, and all, and
Yes.
various artists who can be on
Yeah.
board.
One of
And
the artists has also been over here. Adil Hussain has already.
oh yeah, yeah,
Adil
yeah,
Hussain
yeah,
has already
wonderful.
interviewed with us. Yes.
So I just told after Gautam Da and me once again met in the first week of June and decided on various other things. So I told Gautam Da, you are saying me 1st August, I'll make it sure that you start your shoot on 31st July. I'll complete my job for you one day before your
Yeah.
date of starting the shoot. So that is the challenge I took by myself. So I have to achieve it. And now, the fund started going out. As you know, I have started recruiting various people and taking people on board of various departments, the crew part.
Yeah.
And now still, the technical Reiki was due, and casting we had no one at that time.
Yeah.
We had only names कि चलो ये हो सकता है, वो हो सकता है, ऐसे हो सकता है, वैसे हो सकता है. But the best part was we completed the technical Reiki.
Yeah.
We formed a wonderful unit. We got all the casts and everything, and we started the shoot actually one day before the date given to me by Gautam Da.
Yes.
And I'm really, by God's grace, it was really, amazing to see that Adil Hussain, Tilotma Shom, Neeraj Kabi, they all came on board immediately, and it was a great luck to have them as per, the schedule required for the film.
Yes. Exactly.
So we started, I remember we started the shoot with Tilotma when one day
Yes.
before, you know,
Yeah.
the
The
day
actual
Gautam
date is.
told me.
Yeah.
So she was one day prior to the scheduled shooting date. And so
Mm.
we started with her.
Yes.
And then Adil Hussain joined and Neeraj Kabi joined. So we put a lot of efforts, and we, really did a lot of hard work to achieve that. So
Yes.
that was a really challenging time for me.
Yes. But ultimately, everything well happened, and it also premiered in
Yes,
Busan, and we hope also we can also see the
wonderful,
film
wonderful.
soon. So I will be moving to the audience questions. So I think two of them are already over here. So I would first
So how
to
many people we have over here right now?
so we have 12 people around here. So we have
Okay.
12 people. So I would request Munuktula to unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Are you here?
Can I
Okay.
have your video, please?
Yes, yes. Munuktula, can you please can you turn on your video?
Whoever is asking the question.
Yes, I will be only asking if they are not present, but they have only submitted there.
Okay,
Munuktula,
okay.
yeah. Munuktula, can you hear us? Uh, well, I don't think. Wait a minute. I don't think. Okay, then I am asking the question. So, Munuktala's question is what is unique about making movies and how is that skill relevant in the tech industry?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. So her question. So the question is, what is unique about making movies, and how is that skill?
You're not audible.
Hello. Am I audible now? Hello. Hello. Am I
Yeah,
audible? Guys, am I audible?
yeah. Tell me,
Yeah. So the question is, what is unique about making movies, and how is that skill relevant in the tech industry?
how is
How is what is unique about making movies, and
okay
how is that skill relevant in the tech industry? So
that
like
skill
technical,
really skill.
yeah, yeah, that skills for the technical side.
See, I think uniqueness about movie making is we are selling dreams.
Yeah.
Everyone dreams,
Yes.
and we are selling dreams here.
Yeah.
And the biggest uniqueness, what I have realized and observed is job satisfaction.
Yeah. True.
I don't think one will have more or bigger job satisfaction than when you make a film, you release it, and when you see it on screen and seen by different peoples all around the world.
Yes.
So my kick for making this movie, is this only job satisfaction, and that I love selling dreams and trying to communicate with people through my stories, which I want to make.
Yes, thank you. Aditya will be coming to you. Before that, Anand, you can go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute yourself and you can just turn on your video. Sir is requesting you to.
Sure, Shashwat. Hello, sir.
Hi Anant, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, I am interested in that music part. I want to ask that how can an upcoming lyricist,
Hmm.
basically songwriter,
Hmm.
showcases their skills and grab the attention of producers like you?
Hmm.
Are there any specific avenues or platforms you recommend exploring?
So you are writing a lot of things, Anant,
Yes, sir.
or you are just thinking that you are wanting to be a lyricist?
No, sir. Actually, I write lyrics, and actually, my father is also a very big lyricist.
Wow, great. May I
He's
know
a
his name?
Yes, sir. He's a great podcaster, which runs a show Dhadkane Meri Sun.
Okay, my best wishes to him. Please convey my regards and best wishes to him. And I
Yes,
hope I will get some opportunity to work with him someday. See, to become a good lyricist, you definitely have to communicate with music directors who should feel that you can write for them. Now again, writing lyrics for film songs and other different kind of songs is little different, somewhat different, because film
yes, sir.
songs are more of situational. So you may write a lot of songs, but again you need to customize it as per the requirement of the film situation. So you need to definitely communicate with music directors for this instead of producers. But definitely at times when you have worked with some music director, or you have delivered a good work, producers may recommend that this writer is good, and we should have him on board for our songs too. So the best thing for you to do is to interact, communicate, and show your work, provide your work to different music directors, and convince them about your work. So that is the best way you should go. But
Yes, sir.
keep on writing. Don't stop writing.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you write, maybe after a few months you think that okay, ये तो बस ऐसे ही मैं लिख दिया था, उतना अच्छा नहीं था. But don't take it in that way. Just keep on writing and improvise on it
Yes,
and
sir.
believe in yourself. I'm sure things will work out.
सर कोई ऐसा स्पेसिफिक एवेन्यू या प्लेटफॉर्म जिस पे हम उसके थ्रू जा सकते हैं, अप्रोच कर सकते हैं?
देखो, प्लेटफॉर्म एवेन्यू लिरिक्स राइटर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनी, because see, for a singer there is Indian Idol and lot of music shows which is happening. But for a lyrics writer, this is the best way I think you can go.
ओके सर.
Okay.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for your question. I hope it answered. Aditya, you can go ahead.
थैंक यू सर.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Aditya. How are you doing?
Sir, well, sir. So very fine. It was very pleasure talking to you.
Same
Sir,
here.
my question was, कि where do you see Indian cinema in animated version? As we can see, the anime
Y-
characters are, very popular. Animated films are very popular. There are films in Hollywood, just
Your
like
voice has
Angry
gone.
Birds.
I
Huh?
can't hear you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear him.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No
Can
one
you
is
hear me?
audible.
Hello. I think we are audible. Yes.
Now, am I audible,
Are
sir?
you people audible to each other?
Yes. Yeah. We are audible. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I not
Yeah,
audible?
animated characters you were talking about.
Yes.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you
Sir,
can
where do
you
you see Indians Bollywood animated films to come in the mainstream? Just like we have in Hollywood, we have many sequels of various characters and films, and nowadays anime is also booming. But we don't see any Indian touch in all that. So where do you see that in Bollywood cinema?
Animation industry, you mean to say animation
Yes.
content
yes
in
yes
theaters?
animation industry in India.
Animation industry in India has definitely grown up in last few many years. But if you talk about animation as a film content and theatrical release, it's very sad that that has not done well, because still, as per the survey goes, Indian adult people, they are not very much habituated of watching animation films in theater. They still take it as a a kids content. But if we see Hollywood, people over there, they enjoy watching more of a animation content than live action. Yes, Hanuman was a film in Indian animation which did really well, but I don't think any other content after that has done very well in theatrical form. At the same time, in television, in OTT, animation is doing well. Yes, there are ups and downs, but it's a decent, market for Indian animation in television and OTT now, and people are watching it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aditya, for
Thank
your
you.
question. The next question is from Amit. He's not in the meet. So his question is that my question is that if a common person who is not a part of the entertainment industry, say one of us, wants to write movie scripts such as adventurous fantasies for the purpose of movie making, then how does one proceed to write and reach out to people like directors or producers or someone related to the field who may want to listen or look at his or her stories?
See, definitely it's a very challenging thing, but there are a lot of screenwriters lab which is happening these days in India, including NFDC. Then there is a Mami. I think Mami is also having some
Yeah, yeah.
screenwriters thing. So when you go to those places with your write up, your idea, story idea, and your writing, I think if you have done something really good, really catchy, and they're really impactful, then that is some of the platforms where you can definitely pitch and try to
Yeah.
participate. And from there, many producers and other writers and producers, directors are there, who might get interested in
Yes.
your subject, your story and script.
Yes. And I think that was the last of the audience questions. So, anybody over here, do you have, do you guys have any questions? You can just raise your hand and go ahead. Because I don't think anybody, hello, anybody is having any questions. So, with that, then I think we are towards the end of this segment. So, thank you so much for taking out the time to join today. I am sure that you had, I hope that you had a good time, and we also learned a lot about this film producing because this is the first time we are bringing in a film producer. We have had directors, we have had actors, but it was a very interesting and fresh perspective into the film industry, hearing straight from the producer. So thanks to you once again for joining.
Thank you so much, Shashwato, for this wonderful conversation with the students, and I'm really happy to see that IIT students are so much interested, in films and all, which is really inspiring and motivating for me also. And as you told me, there are 500 students in the film society,
Yeah.
so I think this is a quite a good number.
Yes. Yes.
So it's
Exactly.
very, good feeling for me that at
Yes.
least my industry is some or the other way uh, influencing the IIT industry also.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so this also gives the answer to one of the participants' audience
Yeah.
question: how is tech supporting the how
Film
is
industry.
movie supporting the tech industry?
Yes.
So I think this is
Yeah.
somewhere she can get the
Yes.
answer.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
with
Saito. Thanks to
yes.
everyone, and wish you all my good wishes with you all for the future. Thank you
Yes.
so much.